Hi, I'm Caroline Jones. Blast off to the music universe.
Hey everybody, Matt Bailey here with the Music Universe. So excited to be back at CMA Fest. We're continuing on day number 1 here. I have the wonderful, iconic, I bow down to you, Caroline Jones. How are you doing?
I'm really well, thanks. How are you?
Oh, I am thrilled. This is our first time at CMA Fest and everybody's first time back in 2 years.
Yeah.
So I know that you are on tour, or were on tour with the Zac Brown Band again as a featured singer this time around. How's that been, playing those big rooms?
Oh, it's been awesome. So I started opening for Zac Brown Band in 2017. I opened for them for 3 years. And then last year I joined in the band. So now I've been touring with them. This is my second year touring in the band, and we're about to play Nissan Stadium tonight. It's going to be epic.
Oh, that is awesome.
I just came from soundcheck.
Oh, cool.
It's going to be amazing.
What is it like to, this is such a generic question, but as somebody who's been to dozens of concerts inside 50, 60,000 seat venues, that vantage point, what is that like? I mean, what does the crowd sound like to you? What does the music sound like to you inside a room that has no roof like that?
That's a great question. Well, it is different in indoor venues and outdoor venues, especially those big venues. It's very different, but you don't hear that much of the crowd, unfortunately, because your in-ear monitors are really important. That's how you stay tight with the band. So there's not a lot of bleed outside of those, so you don't actually hear that much of the crowd except the roar at the end of the song. You hear that. But in terms of people singing... but in terms of people actually singing along to the songs, sometimes I'll actually pop an ear off so I can hear, like in a moment like colder weather or something where it's really special, everyone's singing, I'll kind of pop an ear out and take in that moment, because it is very surreal, and it's a scene that you've dreamed of seeing, or I've dreamed of seeing since I was a little girl. Like to look out and see a crowd of tens of thousands of people and you're up on stage is I get goosebumps, just like I literally
has them. You can't see them.
I literally get goosebumps talking about it. Like
it's, oh my gosh. Yes.
Like he's staring. But I do get real goosebumps talking about it because it's a literal dream come true. Very special.
I love it. And of course, your sophomore album came out in November. I want to make sure I pronounce this right. That's why I'm reading this.
Antipodes.
Yeah. Okay. How'd you come up with the name? That's great.
So Antipodes means the opposite end of the world. And I made a lot of this record in New Zealand, which is the opposite end of the world. So I lived in New Zealand for 7 months during the pandemic.
Why?
Because I met my now husband.
Aww.
And he had to move to New Zealand for a year. 2 months after we met, he was moving to New Zealand for work for a year. And all my tours were canceled. It was a wild time, and I just moved with him. And we spent the year in New Zealand, and it was probably the greatest experience of my life. It was so beautiful, and I finished this record there, and so I named it Antipodes.
I hear they were really, really strict with lockdown in
They were, and
Australasia.
It's debatable whether that was the right call in retrospect, but at the time, it was unbelievable, because you were in a country where, the entire world was in a pandemic, and New Zealand had no COVID. No one had COVID. There were no masks. There were no, when one person would get it, they would lock the entire country down.
Wow.
So they really contained it, and it was like the Twilight Zone. I mean, it was wild, because everywhere else in the world was so scary,
I bring that up because it seems like, as dystopian as it is to hear that, it seems like almost the perfect environment to work on a record. There's, here people could go out. You can't control it like you can a smaller country like New Zealand.
Yes, that population is a big factor to what we just...
Right. So it seems like being locked down, just what else are you going to do but work on music,
Well, I was having the time of my life there because I was newly in love. I was in one of the most beautiful countries on earth. And so I was very inspired. That was a really special time to finish that record.
Now, are you and your husband both back here in Nashville?
Yes. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Is he originally from here?
He was only there for that year to be in the America's Cup, which was there that year. They have to move early and train in sailing. So that's why we went there.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, I can't wait. Unfortunately, I won't be at Nissan tonight, but I I will hopefully catch a road date with either with you on your
Yeah,
own.
you got to
or
see the
with-
tour.
Yes.
And then I'm also playing this Opry on Saturday night and
Very
my own
cool.
show on Sunday. So.
Oh, very cool. Where's your
Yeah.
own show Sunday night?
The Maui Gym Reverb stage. It's at 12:45 on Sunday.
Very cool. Well,
Yeah.
we'll make sure to catch you. Caroline Jones, always a favorite to talk to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.